I'm ready. All right, so I want to share another one of my infamous true stories so that you guys can learn something. Since all of you are in the tech savvy class, which is the e-collar class, I know that you've watched the videos that have talked about the reason why we have the tech savvy as a backup, but I want to tell you a true story, and you'll understand why the e-collar can actually save your dog's life. So for 3 years, my wonderful husband Wayne has been walking the dogs, and he has refused for me to teach him how to use the e-collar. Nope, if the dog won't listen to me off leash, I just won't work it. But he would do that anyway. Of course, he would take Big Yellow Dog. He's pretty reliable, you know, pretty solid. We've been taking Black Dog, and what she does is she's very fast until she'll see a squirrel or a bird or a butterfly, and she's gone. But he's walking on a residential street. So what happened this last Wednesday is apparently he was walking her on the street that he always does, and she took off after a bird, right? And she went across the street and chased the bird. And he said the one and only truck, it was actually a pretty high truck, it wasn't a car, it was a truck, came down the road, and it was moving pretty slow. He said had she stayed on the other side of the road, she would have been fine. Boaz Place. Boaz Place. Yeah, figure it out. Boy, can you unhook him?
Unhook him?
Unhook him from the edge. He's hooked. You see it? There we go. So, she dashed into the street, and the guy was going real slow, and he braked and stopped, but it was too late. She got impacted, and she was rolled underneath, and her chest hit the front of the truck. And he said, he called her out, and the guy stopped immediately, and he called her out, and she came running out, and she was like wired, and then she took off like lightning. And he said, I figured she had to be okay because she was moving so fast. But the guy in the truck, Wayne started to go after her, and the guy in the truck said, well, started to chase her, and Wayne said, no, but you just stand here, let me go get her. So that's what happens when the peanut gallery doesn't listen to the instructions of the instructor who's trying to teach the whole family to be consistent in their handling and their verbiage and the communication they give to the dog. So he said, he put her into a down. He hollered at her across the way, down. She went down. And he told me when he brought her upstairs, and he said, you better check her because I think she might be hurt. He said, but she kept breaking her down. And I said, well, what did you say? What did you do? He said, well, I kept going towards her saying it's okay. I said, okay is a release command. You should have used easy or stay, and she would have remained there. But anyway, the point of the story was she was in shock, her chest was injured, she was bleeding, I had to take her to the emergency room, you know, and almost $1,500 later, she's still on some pretty heavy meds, and we're praying that she'll be just fine. Here's what I want to share about this for this class. Had my husband listened to me and learn how to do the e-collar, he could have, with one command, stopped her. He could have done a sit, and he could have stopped her like that across the street, and she never would have gone out in front of the road. So the reason why the tech savvy is so important is, you know, maybe you don't always need it for a recall, but there's going to be times when you need to get that dog to you as fast as possible for whatever reason. You know, you got to get them out of a situation where they're going to get in trouble. And the e-collar does that. Now, there's times when you have to stop that dog. I wish Wayne had known how to do that Wednesday. He didn't because he never bothered to learn how to do the e-collar. And because of that, we have a dog who could have died very easily. Thank God she rolled underneath the middle of the truck and not underneath the wheel. And then the other thing that you have to do is you have to be able, with the e-collars, you have to be able to send the dog away from you. Because sometimes you have to handle this, and the dog has to get out of a situation. You can't always have the dog here. If there's a bad dog approaching you from here, I need to be able to send my dog away. And that's the 3 things that I teach you with the tech savvy. So I share this sad story to say, had my husband listened to me and taken instruction, and he does not take instruction well from me, what happened on Wednesday would not have occurred. Praise God, it actually turned out okay. She's going to be fine. My husband's sick. He learned a very valuable lesson. I think he will do the collar now, or he'll never take her off leash again. But, you know, the whole point of the tech savvy is that you can take them off leash reliably. You have confidence in your handling skills. So I just share that true story to say it can save a dog's life. It can also save you a vet bill. And we were lucky. She's not dead. You know, she made it through, but it could have been a whole lot worse. So tech-savvy mechanics and having everybody understand how to use them fairly can literally save a dog's life.
Why a sit and not stay? Why would that command?
Because she was in motion.
Oh,
She was running.
got
And then
it.
she went back into the street. So if he had just done a whistle set, or even a verbal SIT, she would have stopped and put her butt on the ground. And that would have stopped her. Then he could have said, stay. But a stay, when she's in motion, makes no sense.
Got it.
That's why we do weeks 1 and 2 are the random recall, then the random recall with the whistle. Weeks 3 and 4, 3 is the moving set, which you'll learn about. And then the random set, which is the whistle set, which is the hardest thing to teach the dogs. By the way, it just is the hardest one. And then we'll teach them place from scratch all over again. Place using the ecollar, which teaches them to move away from you on command, and then we do a place game. If you have all of those lessons built in a dog, then from there you can use the e-collar and you can apply it to other things because the dog understands the pressure, understands the 3 mechanics and those 3 exercises, and you have control of the dog. Get the dog back to you, stop the dog, move the dog away, and that's what happens. The end.